Nobody quits business because it's hard. They quit because it gets quiet. No applause, no big wins, no clear sign that you're doing it right. And that phase is the one that breaks most people more than failure ever will. And almost nobody talks about it. You know how a lot of people hit a phase in business where they're working hard, they're doing the right things, but the results have not shown up yet. And they start doubting themselves or thinking about quitting. Well, what I do is I help them to understand that phase. I help them to identify what actually matters during that phase, and I help them to focus their efforts on a few actions that move them forward instead of burning time and wasting money. In fact, I've helped people that are stuck in this phase to regain clarity, to stay in the game, and to turn that quiet phase into a predictable progress instead of walking away too early. The hardest part of business is not starting, it's staying when nothing is happening. That's the part that people don't want to hear about, but they need to. In this video, I want to talk about the most difficult phase of business. It's not the launch, not the grind, not even the failure. It's the phase where you're doing everything right, but the results have not caught up yet. And if you don't understand this phase, it will steal your time, it will drain your money, and it will crush your confidence. And so I want to give you a couple of points around this idea. Point one is the invisible progress. See, the most dangerous phase is when growth is happening, but you can't see it yet. Do you know how bamboo grows? Well, when bamboo is planted, nothing shows above the ground for years. But under the soil, the roots are still spreading. And then one season, boom, it just shoots up like 20 feet in just a couple of weeks. That's how it works. That's how it grows. Most people quit watering the soil because they don't see anything growing. And here's the takeaway. In business, progress often happens underground first. Your skills are growing. Your systems are forming. Confidence builds. And if you quit too early, you'll kill the plant before it breaks the surface. Point two is this. When you're thinking that, is this even working? When you have that thought about, is this even working? The hardest part of any business is not doing the work. It's doing the work without the proof that the work is working. But the work is working. Even if you don't have proof, the work is still working. Remember learning how to drive for the first time? At first, every move that you made felt wrong. You gripped the steering wheel tight, you hit the brakes too hard, and you wonder, how does anyone do this naturally? And I know that sounds silly now when you think about you just drive and it's just without any conscious resources, you just drive and it's just like automatic. But when you first learned how to drive, you thought to yourself, like, am I going to ever get this? And here's the truth. You're learning faster than you feel like you are. Your brain is building muscle memory, even when you're not thinking about it, even when you're uncomfortable. Nothing looks smooth yet, but progress is happening quietly. And here's the takeaway. In business, confusion does not mean failure. It just means that you're still learning. Clarity usually shows up after repetition, after repetition, after repetition, not before it. You don't get clarity in the beginning. You get clarity after taking the journey. Rep after rep after rep, you start to get clarity. Point three is this, the comparison trap. Nothing slows progress like watching someone else win faster, or you think they're winning faster. And that may be, but that's them. It's not you. Imagine two hikers climbing two different mountains, and the first one has a path that's steep, but it's short. And the second one has a path that's long, but it's winding. That second hiker keeps looking, keeps stopping what they're doing and looking to watch the first hiker. But they're both climbing, but only one is distracted. The takeaway is this: someone else's speed has nothing to do with your destination. Why? Because they're on different mountains. You have a different mountain than someone else. And even if you had the same mountain, even if you were climbing the same mountain, their speed is still not your speed. God has perfect timing for your life, and you get there when God says you're supposed to get there and not a minute sooner. In fact, you shouldn't want to get there before God is ready for you to be there, because that's where his grace and his favor on your life is. It's in that area where you're in that sweet spot to where that's where he wants you to be. And so comparison wastes time, and time is the only thing that you never get back. Point 4 is this: it's the boring repetition. What builds success rarely feels exciting. Doing things that make you successful oftentimes are not exciting at all. They're oftentimes really, really boring. You see, great leaders don't win because of the big moments. They win because of boring habits done daily. Practice, boring meetings, looking at the metrics, doing follow-ups, fixing small things again and again and again. It's not flashy, but it works. Here's the takeaway: the phase that feels boring is usually the phase that you're building something strong. Consistency compounds even when it feels like nothing is happening. Point 5 is this: it's when you almost quit. See, most people quit right before things change. During the gold rush, a lot of people started mining for gold. And most of those miners, they quit a lot of times inches before the vein. They quit just inches before they struck gold. They stopped because they assume it's not there. I'm not going to ever find it. I'm not going to ever reach it. And they did not realize how close they were. And so the takeaway is the urge to quit often shows up right before the breakthrough. But if you just keep going, you will eventually hit a gold mine. And so here's what I want you to know, and here's what I want you to get out of this video. The most difficult phase of business is not failure. It's working on something that you don't see any results. It's working on something and it's quiet. It's crickets. You don't hear anything. You don't get, nobody's cheering for you. Nobody's clapping for you. But you have to learn how to have faith without feedback. You have to keep showing up even when you don't see anything happening. And if you keep showing up, eventually the results will show up. And if you can stay through that phase, you're ahead of most people, because most people quit. If you're in that phase right now, doing the work, showing up, but not seeing clear results, I want to invite you to the Predictable Profit Workshop. It shows you how to turn your effort into consistent results. It turn guesswork into clear steps, and hard work into predictable profit. If you're tired of wondering, is this even working? And you want a simple system that shows you what to focus on next, join me in the Predictable Profit Workshop. Stop hoping that it works and start knowing that it will. And so the link is below in the description to join me in that workshop. I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video.